Welcome to Inside the Force. I'm Greg Grunberg, a.k.a. Snap Wexley.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody.
And I don't think I sound the same.
Who are you?
Because I am
I was just listening to you.
Seriously losing my voice.
That's all right. A while back I lost my voice and was on the show and sounded very much like that. I remember.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a rough time for me.
But it actually just started getting worse just like an hour ago. Because it wasn't dropping out like it is now. So I was like, so bear with us, please.
Just gotta talk soft.
I'll just let you talk most of the time.
All right, sweet. Well.
So go ahead.
Well, we're done. So we'll start off with the news. Movie news, to be exact. And there's actually quite a bit of news this past week, people. If you have been in the shadows. In regards to Han Solo, really there's actually nothing on the Han Solo front. Right?
There was a casting announcement.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Michael Kenneth Williams.
Yeah, he was in Boardwalk Empire and some other awesome stuff. Yeah, right. Don't know who he is playing. So, the rumor is a villain. That is actually the rumor out there right now. But we shall see. They are shooting that as we speak. That film, and we're only a few weeks away from Celebration to most likely get a first glimpse of something from that movie. We'll see about that. Well, that's about less a month away.
Let's see. Let's see.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yesterday we're leaving in 5 weeks.
5 weeks. We will right now be camping out.
There.
We'll be camping out for.
We would be camping out.
Wait, today's Thursday, so no.
Thursday night.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, Friday is the last Jedi panel. Right. Very cool. For The Last Jedi, actually some kind of crazy happened this past week with The Last Jedi. So apparently, actually I just read this yesterday though. Yesterday, which was March 8th, I believe, yeah. Some shareholders in Disney had a meeting and footage from The Last Jedi was shown. And someone was there tweeting about it. A reporter from the LA Times was like almost, he wasn't live tweeting, but he was tweeting. He had sent out like a nice handful, like a dozen or so tweets about the footage shown from The Last Jedi. I guess more like 6 or so tweets. But I mean, this is crazy. I'm surprised they let him do this, but I'm sure he had to get it approved and all that kind of stuff beforehand, and they were okay with what he tweeted out. It wasn't too much, but it's still, of course, raising a lot of speculation. Some of the things that I will just kind of briefly go over here. Let's see. There was, read right off his tweets here. Then his name is Daniel Miller, at Daniel N. Miller. So he says the Last Jedi clips are being shown. There's a lot of shots of Rey handing Luke the lightsaber, is kind of like recapping, I guess. There's a shot of Luke asking Rey, "Who are you?" And later on, actually, this is an update today. More specifically, that specific moment where he asks, "Who are you?" is actually in a hut on Octo Island. Luke and Rey are in a hut, and he asks her, "Who are you?" And then we see Rey kind of messing around with lightsaber some more. So some clips of Chewbacca, General Leia Organa, and Finn. And more specifically, Finn is wearing a First Order uniform. And let's see, he's on a Star Destroyer or some other big ship on their bridge in a First Order uniform. And that kind of goes along with some rumors that have been going around for a couple weeks about, or maybe even longer, Finn rumored to be he goes undercover in the First Order. I guess, and that would explain why he wears a First Order uniform. Now, I actually don't see how that would happen, because I feel like people would know who he is pretty quickly. I feel like his face would be posted all over the place, but maybe I'm wrong. Just other quick shots of like an X-wing crashing, of Poe in an X-wing saying it's now or never to BB-8. More ships flying in space. Chewie roaring. Captain Phasma. Shots of her. Rey spinning again. Lightsaber practice. That kind of stuff. So not too much. Obviously, would have been revealed. Don't know why they were showing. I mean, if the shareholder meeting was just to show them what they're invested in, I guess. This is The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you are shareholders, because you are invested in this company. But it looks, I mean, that's pretty cool. So people are speculating, of course, that because Luke says to Rey, "Who are you?" that has to mean she's not his daughter, because why would he not recognize and know who his daughter is? Now, I don't think that rules out the possibility that Rey is Luke's daughter. Now, I think she could very easily not be his daughter, but I think also she could very well be his daughter. And that line just, either he doesn't recognize her. I mean, I think it's been, what, 15 years? No, yeah, about 15 years, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Since he's probably seen her, so if he even knew she was still alive, maybe he didn't know she was alive. I don't know. So,
or how the heck did you get
yeah,
here?
so it might be a series of questions like, who are you? How'd you get here? How'd you get my lightsaber?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So also it raises a question that, that scene is in a hut on Octo Island. So that can't be, well, maybe not necessarily, but like whether it's not Luke's first words of the film. I don't know, because if the film starts, and the film could start in the hut. Well, I mean, but they said that there's scenes here of her handing the lightsaber, which could just be from The Force Awakens. I don't know, but we kind of talked about how we thought maybe The Last Jedi could open, because there's supposed to be a crawl, of course, and this is supposed to be open. We would hope, like all the other saga films, with a crawl and a pan down or pan up from a planet. So we kind of think that the crawl could very well just be a recap of Force Awakens. I mean, this sounds like this movie literally will pick up seconds after Force Awakens. So the crawl could just, talk about what happened in Force Awakens. The Resistance had a first major victory. Kylo's gone back to Snoke with General Hux. The First Order's regrouping. General Leia is regrouping the Resistance from what remains of the New Republic. And then Rey is going in search of Luke Skywalker. So it could very well be something like that. And then we pan down to Octo Island, and we kind of get a recap of Rey landing and finding Luke. And I talked to Cody Geiler about this earlier today. He raised a good point that to make it a little bit different, maybe it is the same kind of moment where Rey is landing on Octo Island, but it's from Luke's perspective. Like instead we see him on the island and we see him watching the Millennium Falcon land or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, or something like that maybe. But or feeling the presence of Han passing, and then it kind of skips forward a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, but.
That'd be a little weird, because if he sees it coming and he just literally is still standing there the whole time,
he's trying to be cool and all
the Falcon.
Yeah.
Is that the Falcon?
Yeah.
Maybe he's contemplating there the whole time.
Yeah. So who knows how it's going to open? Who knows if Rey is his daughter? I mean, I won't be surprised if it's not, but I won't be surprised if it is.
I really just don't want her to be Obi-Wan's daughter.
Absolutely.
I
would not be cool with that.
I would not be cool with that.
Man.
Yeah. I don't know.
It'd be very unfortunate. So, nothing about Kylo Ren. None of the Imperials were really shown, I guess, during this little brief showing, this little brief premiere. So, still wait to hear anything about Snoke. Of course, they're going to hold that pretty close to the chest, or Benicio del Toro's role, or any of that stuff. Nothing about Laura Dern's role. Nothing. So, all really just the hero side of things. It seems like so. We will probably again get more stuff, a trailer and all that stuff for Celebration.
So you do you not think that was the trailer?
I don't think so. It didn't sound like it. Maybe a teaser, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe it might have been a teaser.
But I wonder if that's what we're going to get.
Yeah,
at Celebration.
Yeah, the only villain we saw, it sounded like, was Captain Phasma, but I wish it would show Kylo Ren or something. But oh well. Less than a year away, people.
Yes.
9 months away. So cool. Speaking of celebration, well, I think that's about all I have for movies, really. There's nothing else. Rogue One is almost out. It'll be out on digital release later at the end of this month.
Like 2 weeks. Yeah.
So it's coming soon. Celebration, some news about that. Some more celebrities were revealed. And one of those guys is Billy D. Williams himself, Lando Calrissian. Alan Tudyk from Rogue One, he played K2SO. Vanessa Marshall voices Hera Syndulla from Rebels. Matthew Wood, voice of General Grievous, and also the supervising sound editor at Skywalker Sound, which is crazy that's just funny that they got the guy who works there to be General Grievous, a very iconic voice. They're all coming to Celebration, and Dave Filoni is coming to Celebration, which also, if you watch the Star Wars show this past week, it was revealed that, officially revealed, I guess I should, because we all knew it was going to happen, that they're going to show the premiere of Season 4 of Rebels. It was said in Star Wars show.
Oh, at Celebration?
Yep. So they're going to have the Rebels panel, Dave Filoni with some mystery guests, which will be all the Rebels cast, I'm sure, and maybe even George. Who knows? If George is going to be there for the 40th anniversary panel, which I feel like he's got to be there.
I know.
Then why wouldn't he stay for the weekend? What else does he got to do? Just kind of a pop up in all these other little panels, just like he did his last appearance at Celebration.
It should be actually a celebration of George Lucas.
Yes.
That's what it should be.
I agree. Absolutely.
But wait, did you say they're premiering the premiere in Season 4 or premiering the trailer for Season 4?
I said like the premiere of Season 4. I have to hear back the specific wording in the Star Wars show and how they said it, but it sounded like they meant it as the premiere.
If you remember, it's probably both, because that's what they did
like a little sizzle, like a big sizzle reel.
Well, remember, I watched the premiere of Season 3, and that same day they released the trailer for Season 3.
Yeah.
So everybody else got the trailer. We actually saw the premiere, because that was when Vader. I mean, not Season 3. It was Season 2. Because it was Vader and Ahsoka, at the end of that. But we saw season with and then it was in the premiere of that season. That's where Vader took on Ezra and Kanan. Yeah, held Ezra on the wall. I remember because I remember watching that in line going into the premiere.
Okay,
so because we were just standing there and people started like freaking out. Like, what's going on? They just released a trailer, so we pulled out our phones and watched it. So it was pretty strategic. So it sounds like it's probably going to be the same thing.
Probably. Very exciting. No word on any other Rebels cast, but I'm sure we'll get Freddie Prinze Jr., Taylor Gray, Steve Blum, all those people, I'm sure. And depending what happens with Darth Maul, maybe we'll get Sam Witwer. I don't know. But
Sam Witwer he's been in every one of those.
He'll be there just to be there because he's Sam Witwer.
Yeah.
And so that's, the only thing with Celebration, you might have something, but they are shipping out the badges right now.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll get ours tomorrow. That'd be awesome.
And this just came out yesterday late, but they've already announced that there will be the next celebration will be in 2019.
That's right.
Not 2018.
Right. Yeah. It will be in time for episode 9.
But there's no date set and there's no location set.
Correct.
So don't know if this is a European celebration or if it's still in the States.
Just like tradition, it seems, they'll probably announce it at the end of
this one,
of Orlando this year.
But that'd be odd if they're not going back to Europe.
Yeah.
Because I would assume this would be Europe, but then I would be really mad because that means it'd be like 3 years until they come back here.
Yeah, strange.
Anyway, so
because 2019 is also the year they're supposed to be opening Star Wars lands.
Oh,
so it might correspond with that.
Holy cow! That's right. It's probably going to be in Orlando again.
Orlando again, and it might be towards the end, later in the year. Because I think they're trying to. I don't. They never said. I don't think a specific time.
Last I heard was summer.
Summer, so
2019.
They might hold it till summer.
That's true. I bet you. Okay, so you people across the pond might be upset then because it might be
it.
But it's just again us. You know, we can't say it enough. If you haven't been, and now you know that there's not going to be another one for a couple of years, you got to get to this celebration, man.
Oh, gosh, I'm so glad I'm already got. I feel
Celebration.
so confident now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm going. To
Celebration is so awesome.
Yeah.
And even it even says this in this little article from Star Wars Celebration.com. It's like, while we might be in the thick of getting ready for Star Wars Celebration Orlando, it's never too early to start thinking about when the next celebration will be. Celebration is the official, definitive Star Wars event with entertainment, interactive experiences, and exclusives that can only be found at this Lucasfilm production. They are the ultimate community fan gathering as well, and friends will want to start planning to get together again to commemorate everyone's favorite saga. The next official celebration is slated for the location and date soon to be announced in 2019. So, but when you say the ultimate community fan gathering, I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Mm-hmm. It is there's nothing like it. It really is. Okay, so Rebels got a brand new episode again this past Saturday entitled Secret Cargo, which was this was a very significant episode.
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
In the history of Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Basically, the two biggest things was Mon Mothma was on the show. And I don't think has she been on the show before?
Not Rebels.
Not Rebels, right?
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Was the other.
And you said she was voiced by Guinevere.
I was actually going to pull up her her name. I mean,
the girl that played her in.
Is it Genevieve or is it Guinevere?
I'm sorry, Genevieve. I think it's Genevieve. You're right.
I've never actually seen that name spelled, so I'm assuming that's who it is.
I think it's Genevieve.
Genevieve O'Reilly.
Who played her in not only episode 3 that was deleted, but in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And she voiced Mon Mothma in this episode, and basically the gist of the episode was this certain rebel cell needs the help of the Ghost to get Mon Mothma to the rendezvous point where she has sent a message out to gather all the rebel cells together and to thus officially form the Rebel Alliance.
I know. That's huge.
So it's very interesting that because up until this point, you just we didn't know how this alliance formed, for one, but then also the fact that she actually became, in a sense, the enemy of the state.
Yeah.
Where she formally denounced the Empire and is now wanted basically for treason. And so as you see her in Return of the Jedi, I mean, she's basically in hiding. I mean, and she's being protected by the Alliance because she is not. It's not like Bail, where he's still operating in the Senate.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, where there is now a face to the Rebel Alliance that Sidious knows now, Palpatine knows now. So it's interesting to know that now going into Return of the Jedi that, okay, she is actually the official leader and originator of the Alliance, which was pretty cool.
It was definitely huge. And I noticed first time, I think, that we saw the classic Rebel pilot outfit.
On the pilot?
With Gold Squadron. Which,
right.
Again, it's Gold Squadron. That was another huge thing.
Gold Leader, yeah.
Gold Leader was there.
Ezra flew in it.
Yeah. awesome flying the Y-wings. He had the ion cannon there, which was so cool. It was just, that was a really good moment. I'm glad they incorporated him in there. And then at the very end, when they showed all the Rebel Alliance ships flying in, if you watched Rebels Recon, they kind of talked about that as well, where, you know, all those ships you pretty much see at the Battle of Scarif. Yep. There's more hammerheads in that, in the Rebels part, but you see all like the Mon Cal ships. Mm-hmm. So and I saw someone points out on internet that I think you see Admiral Raddus' ship as well. You see a very similar looking ship, so it probably is him. And it's just, I mean, they're all there. It's just crazy. It's awesome. It's insane.
And we're still, you know, a couple years away from Rogue One as far as timeline goes.
Yeah.
But it is the Alliance. And, you know, and the rendezvous point is Dantooine, if people would remember.
Dantooine. They're on Dantooine.
That's the planet that Leia supposedly gave up the location. Mm-hmm. So it's all starting to really come together. I mean,
gosh. A lot of gaps being filled.
It's it's incredible. Mm-hmm. So very, very good episode.
Yeah. Another thing though, I mean, it's still, again, it makes the Ghost Crew so much more important to the saga and harder to just write them off. But I'm glad now that we have confirmation that, well, they are still relevant because they're in the Battle of Scarif at least.
Yeah.
Chopper is still around. Yeah, Chopper, Hera are still around at least. But Mon Mothma knows about Ezra Bridger.
True.
She knows him. Does she know he's a Jedi?
I would assume so.
Yeah, you'd think that.
I mean,
that would be knowledge.
I mean, I would think.
I mean, Bail Organa knows about them, though. I mean, so and Ahsoka. I mean, I guess he thinks Ahsoka's dead by this point, but it's just.
And I would think that's the thing too, is I would think word of that would spread, right?
Yeah, you would think. But Rogue One, obviously, when Bail and Mon Mothma are talking about, like, you know, bring your friend, like, it's time to bring him in. Why didn't they say, oh yeah, we should bring the other Jedi that we know of,
yes.
Ezra and Kanan?
Okay, so that's a big reveal there, I think.
Yeah.
What about your friend the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Didn't she say that?
Yeah.
So, and I remember kind of thinking that we talked about that a little bit. Well, don't they have Kanan and Ezra? Yeah. So maybe they're not there at that point. That has to be it.
They have to be out of the equation.
Yes.
Death or something else. Like,
yes.
Thought to be dead. Villain, their dark side, I don't know, but do they both die? Like, that
I think
crazy.
I think I think they have to. I mean, we kind of said it's funny because I remember when Rebels kind of started, we almost had that. I think we had that discussion. Like, well, none of these people can survive to episode 4 because they're not in episode 4.
I know, but
you know,
you're thinking like, well, we saw with Ahsoka. Well, I mean, so we thought maybe. Well, obviously Hera lives, so at least to the point of Rogue One. So what if, you know, Sabine kind of goes and does her own thing. Zeb kind of goes back to his home planet after it's all said and done, and with his people. Maybe now Sabine can go to Mandalore and kind of help with Mandalore. But yeah, Kanan and Ezra. I think they're the hardest ones because they're Jedi. Everybody else, I feel like you can right away, you know, write them out somehow so they don't have to die. But they likely might.
Yeah, I have a feeling like Zeb would still be on the Ghost.
Yeah.
During Rogue One, but Kanan and Ezra though, I mean,
that's hard. That's so hard.
And it's not like they can be around even a month before Rogue One because I think they would still be the topic of conversation. Like, I think they have to get out of the picture like a year or so before Rogue One, where there's no Jedi.
Yeah,
you know, anymore, and they're trying to. And that's why Mothma would be like, "What about your friend Obi-Wan?" Maybe. But then also, why wouldn't she? Right at the beginning, right now, at the beginning of Alliance, why wouldn't she be like, maybe you should go get Obi-Wan?
Well, they literally
I don't know.
are just reserving him for the worst case. You know, they have
Probably.
when they've lost all their hope almost. I don't know.
Yeah, because you got to think that at least what we're going to see, I think they're still going to be striking very strategically. You know, not like all out warfare. They're going to be doing the militia type stuff where they're just bombing this base, getting this base, because they still probably got to like find ships and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, Pablo Hidalgo says in Recon that Battle of Scarif is really their first. I mean, as you saw in the crawl, it's the first major victory, but it's also the first major all-out battle.
Right.
I mean, any ship that was capable of fighting was there, and it was all-out brawl, and that was kind of the first big major stance against the Empire. So
it was basically Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Where they was like, let's go do it, but then they end up retreating or whatever and getting out of there. Well, they got the job done, got the plans, and then got out. So then they figured out how to destroy the Death Star, obviously, from there. But yeah, I think something has to happen with Ezra and Kanan to get them out of the picture. Mm-hmm. You know,
It's, I mean, I just don't know. Like, we need, what story we're going to get all those answers in. You know, there's still way more stories to tell. So, very exciting.
Actually, you know, I'm thinking about it too, but I'm kind of thinking what Bale should have said when Mothma was like, now, obviously, he had to have told her, right? Because
at some point he told her. Talked about it. Can't keep a secret, can you, Bale?
But why wouldn't he have said when she says, "Isn't it time to reach out to your friend, the Jedi?" Why wouldn't he be like, "Well, actually, I know two."
Yeah, we can bring all three of them.
Yeah,
Ezra, Kanan.
No, I'm saying Yoda.
Oh, sure, yeah,
because he knows Yoda's out there still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right. I mean,
why didn't they just go get him? Yeah, go get Yoda. Go get two best Jedi ever.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, there's just a lot still to be filled in, even though it's starting already. Okay, so
I mean, there's really nothing on the novel news, nothing really new on the book side of things.
No, just Thrawn's the next release. Mm-hmm. I got about 4 hours left of Aftermath.
Man, I just so slow to read this book. Getting into the rhythm of reading Life Debt, but I'll get there definitely. Just need to.
Yeah, Aftermath is. It'll be interesting discussion once I'm through it, and then we both lay out a review because it's got some good parts to it. It's definitely not, I think I said this kind of last week. It's definitely just not the story that I would have thought Aftermath would be about. 6 months after Return of the Jedi. So, but it's pretty good. I will say one thing. So I wanted to ask you about it.
Okay.
There's, and you mentioned it to me that occasionally there's these interludes that are really weird. They just drop. There's like these extra stories.
Yeah.
Well, one of the last ones I listened to was about Vader's lightsaber.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I mean, some people think that's a huge nugget to something else.
It have to be, or else why would it even be in there?
I mean, we might get a story later on about these acolytes of the Beyond, and they might pose a threat. I don't think they're Force users.
But they're saying they're even going to destroy the lightsaber.
Yeah.
So that it returns to the rightful master or something like that.
Yeah, as if it goes to the afterlife. I don't think it's a real lightsaber, though.
I don't think so either, but I don't know. It's red though.
Yeah.
So,
but it's some people think that could be the acolytes, or one of the acolytes could lead to Snoke, or could lead to the Knights of Ren, that kind of thing. So maybe they'll be more important later on in the timeline.
Yeah, Knights of Ren makes sense. Mm-hmm. But it's just so weird.
But there's
one about Dengar, which is pretty good. Yeah.
There's some other ones that I'll talk about after you review it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I am liking Life Death so far. I'm almost 50 pages into it, but it's pretty good, pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next, I did want to get into a little more back to doing some comic discussion, because we got an email from one of our listeners, Nathan out there, mentioning about how we've been neglecting comics a little bit, which we know it's true, because it's a little harder just because I haven't been able to download those. I haven't been able to get those digital versions, because I get, and plus I've been buying the trades. I'm pretty up to speed on all the trades, but I haven't just sat down and read them. But I do want to get back to reading more of these again, and right now it's even a good time because there's not so many of them out there right now.
Yeah.
Star Wars is still going on. Obviously, Poe is still going on. Dr. Aphra, and then Darth Maul just started. So we figured we'd start back up and start with Darth Maul #1. Mm-hmm. Which you read? Did you get a chance to read that? Yeah. Yep. So what'd you think of Darth Maul #1?
It was cool, and I like the setup it did. It's kind of a cool little reference cameo that they had in the beginning with the Rathtars. It's pretty interesting. But Darth Maul, definitely, I mean, it's just funny because he didn't say hardly a few words in Phantom Menace, but we see him talking a lot in Clone Wars, talking a lot in Rebels, and he's talking a lot in this comic. So I'm glad to see that we're going to get more sides of Darth Maul than what we got in Phantom Menace, because this takes place before Phantom Menace, when he's that young, just angry animal of a being. He's not the toned down calm one that we see in Rebels. Or even a little bit in Clone Wars, but he's just that pure evil hurricane of dark side that we see in Phantom Menace. But maybe even more so than that, because he's bored and he's trying to find an outlet for his bloodthirst and his rage, and so he's just kind of doing whatever he wants to, killing, trying to hunt down whatever he can. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I think this is yet surprisingly a side to Maul, or a part of Maul that we haven't gotten to see yet. And first of all, it's in a way his origin, that I guess you can say. So very exciting, very cool. And I love that he's actually narrating it too. It's like his point of view. It's getting actually inside of his mind, and the mind of Darth Maul, which is a unique perspective.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I think it was a good start to it. I think this is only a 5-issue run.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And yeah, it was. I really do think it's, and I also really think it's very close to episode 1. Mm-hmm. Like right before episode 1. And I don't know if you've thought of this, but I've been thinking this whole time as I was reading it. Like, I'm wondering, is Plagueis around?
I was thinking the exact same thing. Yeah, I was waiting for some little nugget of information, like from Palpatine,
because prior to canon, he was.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either.
I just feel like the rule of 2 is pretty strict with the Sith, and like I was surprised to even hear that he was around in the previous EU,
right?
Because the rule of 2, it's like you can't have.
He was around for a while.
Yeah, so
like basically there was 3 of them.
Yeah.
So I agree. I don't think he's around.
I don't think, but I would like to see if they reference him at some point in this. That'd be the first piece of canon that we have had outside of Revenge of the Sith. So.
Right.
Yeah, I was right there with you.
But overall, I thought, the book's written by Callan Bunn, and like how it's written, like how it's art. Looks pretty good. And interesting storyline where it's going with this Padawan. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
we'll see. Because we all know no one's got to find out about him.
So everybody's going to die that probably comes in contact with him.
Yeah. But it's cool to see the Rathtars, too.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Rolling around, eating everything.
So, anyway, so Nathan, thanks for the email and about the comment about the comics, because we do need to get back in that, as well as I will respond to you about some of your suggestions. So that's cool. Thanks for that. All right, what else? I think that might be it as far as all the info.
That's a lot.
As far as the info.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into who we're talking about here.
Some profiles.
Because we might touch on a couple things on that. Mm-hmm. Oh, and if you're, I brought this up too. If you're still counting at home, like I said before, Rogue One, which is still in theaters, it's making very little though, but it made $223,000 this past weekend.
Hey, so good.
But its total is $1,053,541, or I'm sorry, $1,053,541,000.
Sweet.
So
very cool.
Might not get to that 1.1 million, but or 1.1 billion, but it's over $1 billion.
Good news. Good news for Disney. They need it.
Yeah.
So, profile time. Ultimate Star Wars. We are going to be talking today about Mon Mothma. Since she was the focus of Rebels, I thought it'd be nice to see what actually there is canon-wise of Mon Mothma. Now, there's actually a lot more of her now than there was when this book was published. Because Mon Mothma, it says here her appearances in Ultimate Star Wars, that she appeared in Clone Wars. She appeared in Episode 3, even though it was a deleted scene. It still says here that she appeared in Episode 3 and has a screenshot of her deleted scene in the book.
Wow.
So that is canon.
Yeah, I do think... I remember they said that those deleted scenes were canon.
But this is a good visual confirmation.
In fact, I'm really surprised that Lucas didn't put them back in when the Blu-rays got released.
Yeah. So I gotta watch that deleted scene again, since it is really canon. But appearances Clone Wars Episode 3, and then it says Episode 6. But now we know that she is in Rogue One and Rebels. So this list needs to be changed and expanded. Species human, homeworld Chandrilla, affiliation Republic. Now, and actually, Chandrilla also, that I think TV wise or live action wise, the first time we heard of her being from Chandrilla was Rebels. So the first kind of non-printed format of Chandrilla, Mon Mothma being from Chandrilla is mentioned in is Rebels. So that was never mentioned in anywhere else in the film. So just didn't know if anybody knew that. Chandrilla. So, we pretty much, all we know from Mon Mothma is what we see in the movies. She hasn't really been in many books. She was mentioned in Bloodline as she was the Chancellor, but she was sick. But anything before Clone Wars, her time in Clone Wars was, hasn't really been documented at all. So, she was a senator during the Clone Wars, and just talks about her time there, standing up against the Separatists, and kind of time in Clone Wars and Episode 3, where she was worried about Chancellor Palpatine using too much of his power. And that's what that deleted scene in Episode 3 is about. It's Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, Padme, and some other senators talking about kind of the initial thoughts of what would become a rebellion, where they're kind of sitting around talking about how Palpatine's getting too powerful, or Chancellor's getting too powerful, and he's like increasing his war powers. And they're, I can't remember what it was, but they like were talking about signing something or whatever, like 1,000, trying to get like a petition going of all these senators about Palpatine, like getting rid of some of his power. So I gotta watch the deleted scene again. It's in the Revenge of the Sith DVD Blu-ray, but it's really good. It's canon, so it actually counts. Very cool. But after that, to the Clone Wars, there's really nothing about Mon Mothma until Rebels, which isn't really listed here. All it says here is that Mon Mothma and Bail Organa help unite disparate factions, rebel cells, into a rebel alliance to oppose Palpatine's empire. So we saw that in Rebels, essentially, that they are uniting the different rebel cells, and there's more of that we have yet to see. But then after that is Rogue One, where she is on Yavin 4 at that point, working with the rebel intelligence and just all the rebellion factions. So, but more specifically the rebel intelligence, as we see there. And then all the way next time is until episode 6, where she is working with the rebels to defeat the second Death Star. So that is pretty much Mon Mothma. Also, one thing that we know is that she always wears the same outfit.
Yes.
I mean, episode 3, she has kind of a collar thing going on, but it's that necklace. Always that. I guess it's from Chandrilla. But always the necklace, always the white tunic. So, Mon Mothma. That is who she is.
Yeah. So, actually, this is interesting because so there's nothing in the book. Absolutely everything you need to know. Well, I guess you don't need to know about Mon Mothma because she's not in there. Really weird that she's not in here.
Interesting.
But one thing I did do is I turned to the first page of the Rebel Alliance, and it has Luke in there.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what the words in there.
What 1 million? What are you looking at? Oh, The Last Jedi. Oh yeah. Jeez, it's everywhere.
It's right there.
It's a
already.
clue. The Last
There,
Jedi.
It basically says the title of the thing.
There was that thing too. I forgot to mention over the weekend where Ryan Johnson tweeted out that someone says, or asked him, what does the Last Jedi mean? And he's like, oh, it means the final Jedi. Did you see that?
No.
Well, yeah, it was a Twitter kind of conversation, and yeah, someone asked him what does the last mean. He says last means final, and then people are like, oh my gosh, what does that? What does it mean? Final Jedi? Does it mean like this is the last time we will ever see the Jedi? Like after this movie, we'll never see Jedi again? And so this huge speculation kind of ran rampant, and then Ryan Johnson replied later on. Someone asked him about it again. He says, last and final essentially mean the exact same thing. So it doesn't really it doesn't specifically mean that we'll never see him again. Like it just means he's the last one, he's the final one. It's just the same thing. So he was just being cheeky and kind of giving like a synonym for it, but everybody was freaking out thinking this and that about it. But that's cool that it's in there. He is the last Jedi, the last of the Jedi. He will be.
Okay.
Oh, there she is.
So I had to go in the library and pull out
I thought about actually reading
the ultimate visual guide of Rogue One,
Mm-hmm.
and Mon Mothma has a big spread in here as well. So I won't get.
I should have read that probably too before we.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. What was the? I don't know what didn't you mention here? I mean, in her data file,
it also has the screenshot from the deleted scene. I see that.
So that's the same person.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, same actress. Rebels, Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One.
Which one is that? I guess is that her or is that?
Yeah, that's Rogue One.
That's Rogue One?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no Return of Jedi in here.
No,
because it's all Rogue One.
Yeah.
So she's 46 years old.
By the time of Rogue One?
Of Rogue One.
Okay.
Leader of the Rebel Alliance. I wonder...
It's actually older. The actress herself is 40, so she's playing. I mean, the age in the movie actually matches up to how she looks in the
because I think the woman, her name escapes me, that played her in Return of the Jedi, then would actually be, she was a lot older, I think, because that would make her 50 in Return of the Jedi, right?
About 50.
About 50. Yeah, I think she
50,
was
right at 50, I guess. 51.
I think this pretty much says the same things.
Mm-hmm. Does it talk about her necklace there?
It does. Well, it just says it's Chandrillian Medal of Freedom.
Okay. I thought something Chandrillian.
Yeah.
Very cool.
See, it says Galaxy's Most Wanted right here. It says after escalating outrages committed by the Imperial military left her no choice, Mon Mothma spoke out publicly and directly addressed Emperor Palpatine as a lying executioner in a widely broadcast HoloNet proclamation.
We
just saw that, right?
We need to read these books because it predicts everything we're about to see.
Such treason immediately rocketed Mothma to the top of the Empire's most wanted list, and she fled Coruscant, resigning her seat in the Imperial Senate. It was this declaration of rebellion that gave rise to the formal alliance to restore the Republic.
That's the whole episode.
That is the whole episode. That is what we watched in Rebels.
And this came out before the episode. It's just
I've had this since Rogue One came out.
Dang it, we should have read that.
What the heck, man?
I got to read these books from cover to cover.
I want to. I mean, I just haven't been able to sit down and do it because I've been going through these novels now.
Yeah.
But,
that's funny.
Yeah. Let's see. So, this is cool. So, Senator in Exile, as the rebellion is both a political movement and a paramilitary force, Mon Mothma fills command roles in both capacities. She's the head of the Alliance civil government with the title Chief of State. So, why I say that's significant is we did an episode of her, what, 4 years ago almost?
Yeah, almost.
So, episode 13, now, for those of you that came on late to listen to us, for a long time, we were doing profiles of people and ships and, weapons or whatever affiliations. We were doing that based on information that was both canon and EU. Because at the time, there wasn't this unified canon, right? Mm-hmm. So we did Mon Mothma. And the episode title is Chief of State because that's the title she had, I guess, which carried over. That's good that that carried over. Well aware of the dangers of unchecked political power, she must act in accordance with the Rebel Council leadership. Militarily, Mon Mothma is Commander-in-Chief of the Alliance forces, encompassing ground troops, starfighter corps, and the Alliance fleet. Mothma prefers the title Senator, even though she is no longer part of that body. So, yeah. So, again, in this book, which this is by far a fantastic book, done by Pablo.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, there's a whole section right here about episode 3, prior to the Clone Wars. The end of the Clone Wars, and the rise of Palpatine. But yeah, that clearly describes the entire episode of. So basically, it is Bail stayed in the Senate, and she was the voice outside the Senate. Mm-hmm. So Mon Mothma is truly the beginning of the rebellion. So it was pretty cool. Not the beginning of the rebellion, but the beginning of the alliance. Mm-hmm. So awesome. All right.
Very awesome.
What else? That's it.
That's all.
All right. So brand new episode of Rebels coming this Saturday, which it's not the Obi-Wan ball thing, right?
I think this is the one before the Obi-Wan, I think.
Okay.
I think there's this one, the Obi-Wan, and then the two.
I can't remember what this next one's about.
Finale. It's, actually, we just saw that. Never mind. Let's say it's the one with the droid. But no. This one is about droids. This is about Chopper and the Alan Rickman droid. Yeah. I can't remember his name. But I think there's, I remember the clip from Rebels Recon. It's a droid-centric episode.
Oh, it's called Double Agent Droid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
some Imperials kind of catch wind that Chopper has gone undercover several times in different Imperial scenarios.
Alrighty. Well, again, 5 weeks away from Celebration, so we'll be back. We'll still be here next few weeks to get you up to date with everything happening leading up to that episode. Next episode of Rebels this Saturday. We'll get caught up a little bit more on novels and books and comics. Of course, deliver all the news next week for you. InsideTheForce.com. You can get all our stuff there. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And he's Kryptonian1138 on Twitter. I'm DCottingham21 on Twitter. For Case Cooley.
The Emperor has made a critical error, and the time for our attack has come. Yes, indeed. Because I think I've done her other...
You could do one of those audiobooks is what you should do.
Yes. Oh, that's it.
Read one of the audiobooks. I mean, that's what you're auditioning for, pretty much, right?
That's what I want to do. I got to cut all these little pieces together,
Yeah.
all my quotes, and just send them off to whoever does that.
Yeah.
Boom. I could do a better girl voice than some of these.
I was about to say.
Audio guys.
These Mon Mothma's got a very manly voice in these. Leia. Leia was good because it was a woman reading.
Yeah, and Soko, I think that's fun. But like, I was with you when you were listening to Bloodline, and then they did a Han Solo. It's like, oh, I'm Han Solo.
Yeah,
I'm a smuggler.
it was bad.
It was so weird, like classic girl trying to be a guy kind
It
of
was so bad.
voice.
So bad.
But Lost Stars is the same way. It's like the guy trying to be like all preteen girly kind of. It was just embarrassing.
It does fail. It does make me wonder why they don't just hire a bunch of voice actors.
I mean, they did that for the new novelizations that are kind of rewritten in a different point of view. Like they have different voices.
Oh, they do?
They have just mainly one for each of the originals. So they have a female and two males that kind of do all the different ones. And it's great.
Yeah, they should have one. They should have someone narrating it.
Yeah,
reading all the text, but then spoken word. The dialogue should be actors, which would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. This is Inside the Force. Mm-hmm. We will be back here next week. Talk more Star Wars. Thanks, Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. He's Casey. I'm Dave. All that stuff. May the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.